So, today's big question. Code readers. Will any of these code readers work on the 2010 Honda Goldwing? Will I be able to plug any of these in and actually check my codes, reset them, wipe codes out, clear them, whatever? On any of these? Stay watching and you'll find out. Hi, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to have a look at motorcycles ECUs, the control module that's inside it. Some people call it different things, but it's more or less the wee piece of technology that sits inside it. It's the brain of the bike and it controls every feature, every function. Something goes wrong with the bike, the ECU detects it and it flashes up a warning. It could be an F1 light, it could come up written on your screen. So we're going to have a look specifically at the Goldwing today to see if we can get a reader that can read the ECU module on the Honda Goldwing. So stick with us and have a wee look and let's roll the credits. So one of the pain in the butt jobs with the Goldwing is getting into the plug for the module. You've got to take the seat off, but it's just means taking these handles off both sides. There's one side off because it's the bolts that go through there that hold the seat on. And the other side. Must have put these on quite tight the last time. So to get the seat off, that was two 6mm Allen bolts on each side. Take them off, remove the handles, and then with this you just pull the back of the seat out like this and up she comes. And as you lift her up you have to slide her back a wee bit like that. And there's your seat off. Now don't laugh at the mess because she could do a good clean. But yeah. So now we've got this apart. If you want to have a look for your port for your module, you got one. Oh, sorry, one in here. And here it is. It's a typical red Honda one, and it's the 4-pin plug. And the trick is to get it off, if possible. It's held on by 3 pins. I'll maybe need my wee screwdriver. So using a wee screwdriver, just keep popping each one off. It does come off eventually. There it is, yeah. So it's a 4-pin with a slot in the middle. That's the plug you need to go in there. You can buy these pins from, well, there's 1 or 2 different websites. And as you'll see, this plug, it's a double thing in here. I don't want to take it to bits. But it has got a rubber seal in here. So when it's plugged in, you're not going to get moisture or anything going into that plug. Anyway, let's go and see if we've got a plug that fits that. So I've got some different ones that I'm going to play around with. I've got this J-Diag, it's a JD101. I bought this a few years back. I've got King Chrome, which I've had working on the KTM. I've got a C-Reader 3001. This was another purchase of Amazon, I think. I've got this Ancel, which is an MT100. It's supposed to be a motorcycle reader. I don't know if it'll work in the Goldwing. And I've got another Ancel. This is an AD401 Pro. And it's also, I'll just show you, it's also a battery tester. So you have a plug here with jump leads on it that attaches to your battery. You can run a battery through a test, find out what cranking amps it's got and whether the battery's working properly or not. But it's a handy wee tool. I don't know where my jump leads are. Now, the next problem is getting the correct, the correct plug. Now, let's check and see if we've got a plug. Now, if you look inside, it tells you there's 4 pins here, and there's a slot. Now, the slot's to one side, as you can see, so we're looking for a plug with 4 pins in a slot. Now, I know this isn't. This is a 6 pin. This is for the KTM for my 1290. So, that one's no good. Now, the Honda ones are usually red, but this is a red 6 pin. So this is for different Honda makes. What does it say? 5040, I don't know. Don't understand it. Let's see what else I've got in this magical box. Here's another Honda one. 5060. There, that's a 4 pin. So here's a 4 pin with the slot to one side, and the plug looks exactly the same as what that does. That kind of gives you a clue that this should be the right one. So we'll lay that to the side. Let's just have a look at my others. So there's one with 2 on it. That's a 4 pin but a different type. And there's a 6 pin. And this one says it's Yamaha. So this is a Yamaha one, and it does the Yamaha triangular pin, which I think the FZ and everything was like that. There's a 4 pin. This is very similar to the Honda. And there is another triangular one. So there's a triangular with male prongs, triangular with female bits for the prongs to go in. I don't know how you would class that. But we'll stick all these out the road just now, because that's the one here that's going to fit the Honda. Jesus, it's warm. It's about 30 degrees today, Celsius, which is 36 to 70, 90 Fahrenheit. Quite warm, and this is still just spring. Any roads? Let's go on with this. So, just as a matter of interest, why would you need to read codes on your Goldwing? If something goes wrong with a component on your bike, it throws up a code. Now, that component might just falter for a second enough to show up a code, and then it's okay after that. But that code will stay there until you clear it, and it's more annoying than anything. If that component that has a fault keeps doing it, every time you clear it, that code's going to come up. So usually if there's a code, sometimes it can be something you need to look into. So you need to read it to find out exactly what that code is. Now on the bike, on the dashboard, there is an F1 light can come up, and depending on the flashes it tells you what the problem is. But sometimes the easiest way is with a code reader. Now I don't know if any of these will work with a Goldwing, but I'm going to try it out and see how it goes. I've got another code reader in the house, and this is a special one. This one cost me about $500. It's for cars, but somebody says, oh yeah, I'll read bikes, you know, I'll go into the module and check. So I don't know, but I'm going to try that last anyway. So when it throws up a code on the bike, it stores that code in the ECU. Now you might be able to clear that code, clears it off the system, but the code remains on the ECU module. It stores all the codes it's had. So when your bike goes into the bike shop, they can put a reader on it and go into it, and they can see all the codes, all the faults it's had. And it's good to have a reader to clear them. You know, it'll clear all the pre-recorded faults. It'll clear everything, and it'll reset your module. Now just before I go ahead with this, on the Goldwing, and I know people do it, you can clear a code by removing the battery terminals. The easiest way to clear the code with the battery terminals is to take your live off and earth it onto the body, or earth it onto the battery terminal. Don't cross the terminals, whatever you do, but take the live off, put it onto your earth terminal, and it'll get rid of any electric that's left in the system. Like your ECU can still hold power for a wee while. It takes a while to die, but when you earth that live wire off your battery, like take it off the terminal first and put it against the earth, that'll get rid of the power out of there quicker. And if you do that, all the power, anything that's held in the system disappears, and it's like restoring the memory, restoring it back to how it should be. So that's a good way to clear a code, but it still remembers it. So sometimes the reader's the best option. So anyway, we'll go ahead with this. We'll get this plugged in and we'll see how it goes. So obviously, as I mentioned before, you need to find the right plug. This is a Honda plug, and this is a Honda 4-pin, and this should, fingers crossed, hopefully click straight on there, just like that. That's it. Now when you put your code reader on, you need to have your ignition on as well. So I've got my keys, I'll put them in the ignition, and then we'll be able to start reading codes and see which reader works, if any. It'll be worth a try, it'll be worth a laugh. And by the way, the one that came in this box, the Ancel, here's the bit, plugs in, and your batteries, and you can test your battery. It's practical battery tester from Ancel, but it reads codes as well. And this is the other 4-pin with the slot to one side that would fit the Honda. It's not named, there's no name on it, but if it's the same as that, if it's the same wiring, then that should work. So the next thing you do is plug it in. So it only goes in one way, you can't get that wrong. And that's it on the code reader. Now I'm thinking, while I'm playing about with this, I might as well stick the charger on it in case I flatten the battery a wee bit. Yeah. So the first one I've got in is the Ancel. This is the AD410 Pro. Let's stick the ignition on the old Goldwing. Like I say, I've put the battery charger on, so if it does happen to go flat, then yeah. So OBD2, enter. See what it does. Fail. So this is supposed to be a motorcycle one. Error in communications with the ECU. Please check if your tool's connection blah 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 compliant. Exit. Oh well, that's that one done. We'll just turn the ignition off again and try the next one. So I've got the other Ancel, which is supposed to be a motorbike. It's the MT100. So it's loading up. So main menu, diagnostic settings and versions. So we'll enter diagnostics. Honda, enter. Auto scan, enter. Right, PGM F1, ABS Honda, ABS Bosch. Establish a communication with the ECU. Read codes, current DC, no trouble codes, okay? Stored codes. So this is the ones that's stored that keeps it in the system. So as you can see, injector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 has had a fault at some point. Now that could have been, I don't know, run out of fuel or something like that, but it's came up at one point that it's had a fault. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Erase DTCs. Okay, so we'll go in. Sure to erase DCTs. So we'll go with yes. Okay. There we go. And we'll go back up to read DCTs. No codes stored, no trouble codes. So that is the memory wipe clear. So these little ones didn't do much, but they're good for clearing codes. So there you go, the Ancel MT100. You can go into your Goldwing, and I've done it on my KTM. You can go into your codes, read if it's got a code, you can clear it. You can go into save codes that it's had before. You can go in them, clear it, job done, and it clears out your system. It doesn't go into the ECU properly. you know, for settings and things, but it does clear code. So if you want a simple code reader, one of them, and you can't go wrong. Let's check the other ones. So in this one, we've got the mighty King Chrome. Is it as good as it's raked up to be? Now, let's go into the OBD2, see what this does. So there we are again, it's no connecting. Well, never mind. We could battery 11.4746 volts. And I'll escape out of that, yeah. So King Chrome, yeah, that's just no working with this. It did work with the KTM, but it's just not working with the Goldwing. Right, so I'll tell you a wee tale. This one I bought actually years ago. I forgot I had it. I bought it when I first got the Jeep, and I got the Jeep in 2014. And it reads all the stuff on the Jeep, no problem, you know, for clearing codes. So, diagnostic battery to DCT. I think the DTC lookup's just showing you what codes that you can have, but let's go in, diagnostic. See if that works, see if that does anything. Right, verify the ignition is on, check if the scan tool OBD2 connector is okay. Yes, they're okay. Right, let's go down DCT lookup. Oh, it's got vehicles there. It's got an update mode. I might actually stick it on and update it at some point, and then give it another try. But that's a no-go, J-Diag at the moment. Here's another one, it's an old one. Launch. Right. Diagnose. Please check the tool is on, so it's not connecting. There's just no, let's go to DCT lookup. I see, you put in your what fault code you get and it tells you what it is. Tool setup, language and unit of measure. So that's a no-go. That's the C reader 3001, a no-go for the Goldwing. So there we go. That's all done. Not having much success, but this Ancel does. It'll go and it'll read the codes for you and tell you what's wrong. It'll cancel the codes and it'll cancel stored codes. So that's ideal, you know, for the old Goldwing. Now, a lot of you'll probably think taking the seat off and everything like that's a bit of a pain in the arse. But there's two other options you could have. You could have that plugged in permanently and pop it down wrapped in a bag or something next to your battery, or at the other side if you want. You know, it's entirely up to you. That came off too easy. Or you could take this off like that, and you could take that plug, the wee red plug. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 wires go to it. You could actually snip these wires and extend that plug down to your battery box, and then when you want to do the codes, just pop the cover off, plug the reader in, it'll tell you what codes you've got and how to limit. It's better than sitting trying to count how many times your F1 light blinks and then looking up to see what it is. This will tell you exactly what it is. Now, I'm not sponsored by them. It's just one of the things I bought with my own money, and it actually works with the Goldwing. It's the only one that seems to work with the Goldwing at the moment, but I'm looking at getting a fancy one, you know, like spending a bit of money and getting a decent motorcycle one eventually, that should do all sorts of motorbikes. But this one, yeah, this one does. It does Hondas, it does Yamahas, Suzuki and Kawasaki. It does all the Japanese bikes, and I'm sure it worked on the KTM as well. I'm almost positive it worked on the KTM. So anyway, so that's it, more or less, for the day. I'm going to get this all put back together. I'm going to sit and contemplate and moving that down there so that I can read the codes from down on the side panel, which is going to be a hell of a lot easier and less hassle. Anyway, I think the only thing I've got now is to take the bike out for a ride and see if she runs fine, and which she will. She always does. Anyway, that's it for the day. And I'll catch you all later. I hope that was useful for some of you. Anyway, catch you later. See ya.